2018, Democrats are hoping to turn Texas blue in 2020. And one of their top targets is the 24th Congressional District, currently held by Republican Kenny Marchant, a district that Trump and Beto won. Well, this week, one of Marchant's Democratic challengers, retired Air Force Colonel Kim Olson, released an ad highlighting her military experience. The ad went viral online. Let's watch it.
I was sent to the front lines of Iraq to rebuild. I gotta tell you, it was a cluster. There was no reconstruction plan, no political foresight. Our government couldn't even pay the security detail protecting Americans.
Well, this morning, Coulson tweeted Colonel Marvel reporting for duty, comparing herself to Captain Marvel, the fictional pilot turned superhero. Retired Air Force Colonel Kim Olson joins me now. I don't think I used the word cluster before the way you used it so provocatively, but you've got the right to do it. Tell me, what about Trump has edged you into this risky business of running for public office? What about Trump?
Well, it's not just about Trump, Chris, and thanks for having me on the show. It's for kind of what it represents, that we have a nation in which those of us who wore the uniform, sworn allegiance to the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I have that same expectation of our commander-in-chief. And those of us that served in the military to help basically defend those foundations that make this nation great. And it's my belief that this particular president is undermining all those institutions.
Let's talk about Texas. Texas, it's a tough state, proud state. Been Republican for a while now. I can remember, I guess, as recently as '68, it voted for Hubert Humphrey over Nixon. Yep. But ever since then, it's been a southern state. What can you do to move it?
Well, I think we showed that we could move it in 2018. And, you know, there's lots of warriors on the ground that walk blocks, that registered voters, that got the vote out. We had record turnout for the first time in almost 3 decades because we had folks that did the hard work. Look, anybody out there can be a warrior, and you win these little battles a little at a time, and that's how you turn states like Texas from red to blue, because the issues we face in this state aren't blue issues and aren't red issues. They're red, white, and blue issues, and it takes all of us to get them fixed.
Are you a moderate, a progressive, or a conservative?
I'm Kim Olson, and I'm an American, and I'm a Texas,
but when your
and I want to lead in this
when
district.
You get your voting record out there after a couple weeks in Congress, people are going to know what you are. You're going to vote progressive or vote moderate or conservative. They're going to know it.
They are. So it depends what the issues are, and I vote to represent the constituents. I vote for what's in the best interest of our nation. And again, you're there to serve. This isn't about you. This is about serving those that put you in office. And oh, by the way, those of us that are elected officials ought to work harder than the people that we're representing. And I'm not sure that's actually happening these days. And that's why I think the video went viral, Chris, is because people are looking for leaders who can be reasonable and represent them and actually speak truth to power and stand up when things aren't right. And that's the kind of woman I've done. And I've done it my entire career, and I'll do it when I get into Congress.
When I was growing up in politics, you had to have served in the military. You had to have some record as a service person to even think about running for national office. And now we've had, starting with Bill Clinton, since the Cold War has been over, but we've got all sides of problems. What is the advantage of someone who's been in it, who's been overseas in conflict, in combat? What's the advantage?
Well, I think the first, just as you were saying early in your show, we're over here, rattling our sabers to take on another country. And remember, I was in Iraq the first 10 days after we stopped, bombing it, trying to rebuild a country with no exit plan at all and no strategic foresight as to what we were going to do with this place. And so having had boots on the ground, and right now I got skin in the game. My son is deployed halfway around the world defending this country, wearing a uniform just like I did. Matter of fact, working in the same kind of warfare that I did 20 years ago. Being in endless wars is not what great nations do. Great nations need to be the peacemakers. They need to be the role models. They need to be the ones that take the world out of constant warfare.
Good luck. I could give you all the advice I got. It won't make a difference. But use a lot of radio and meet a lot of people. TV is very hard to get on, but getting on radio is a lot easier. Social media, there's so many ways to meet people now. But, you seem to got the energy, and that could be it. The difference between you and the other guy. Thank you so much. You got the energy and the will.
Thanks, Chris.
Go for it.
Thanks for having me on, Chris.
I'm glad you came on. Thank you, Colonel Kim Olson, who knows what she's talking about. Up next is Weird.